What is up, everybody? We are here in Juneau, Alaska for the Bitcoin Alaska 2025 conference. I'm here with Commissioner Adam Crum. How are you doing today, Commissioner?
I'm doing fantastic. I'm just really glad to be invited to this and exciting to see this kind of an event in Alaska.
Yeah, I've been to a lot of events all around the country. There's been a lot of really incredible events, but this one in particular has my heart. As I told you off air, I grew up in Southeast Alaska. Bitcoin is a passion of mine. I think that there's a lot of interplays between what Bitcoin can do for communities, for industry, and for business. So I am also really excited to see what's going on here. So this is your first day. You kind of weren't able to make it yesterday. Yesterday we had a lot of education. Today's going to be a little bit of a technical day, but we also have you going up on stage. Congressman Vegas is up on stage right now. A lot of really interesting interplays, but I kind of want to hear your thoughts and your opinions on Bitcoin and education within Bitcoin.
So Bitcoin and the cryptocurrency space as a whole, I think, is really misunderstood. I dove into this personally a couple of years ago, and I have personal investments in it, but I have a lot of friends who've been Bitcoin maxis who've really tried to educate me, and I've dove into it myself, and it's an amazing prospect of what it is for both a store of value as well as the technical capacity that there is beyond that. Like what we can do with cryptocurrencies and blockchain as a whole when it comes to government functions, I find extremely exciting because I love the zero trust environment, the ZK models, right? The zero knowledge, how you're protecting people's data while at the same time having more efficient services delivered. And I think that's the most exciting prospect that we have throughout all of this blockchain, on top of this incredible known stored value wealth.
Absolutely. And if you kind of interplay what you're just talking about over a place like Alaska, citizens here in Alaska are extremely sovereign citizens. They are the type of people, they live out in the bush, they're off grid, they're, building a life for their families, kind of disconnected from the state. And it's interesting how Bitcoin can not only help them preserve the capital, the working capital that they're building, but also allow them to project that into the future further. What are your thoughts?
I think I 100% agree. I think financial sovereignty that comes with Bitcoin is something that really will play into Alaskans as they learn more about it. You talk about living off grid. My parents live off grid. They live, you go 20 miles past Homer and then 9 miles by four-wheeler or Argo, and that's where you get to where they live. They've got a Starlink and they stay connected that way to FaceTime the grandkids, but they like hauling their own fuel and taking care of themselves out there. It's this independent mindset into their 70s, which is true of most Alaskans.
And it's something that, I would love to see happen more in the lower 48. Not so much that we need to disconnect from the grid and go completely off grid, but this ability to grow your own food, to take care of yourself, to fix things when they're broken instead of outsourcing it to someone else. I think it's super important because we're heading into a multipolar world where we don't know what is going to happen. We don't know if we're going to nuclear war next year. We don't know if we're going into a war with Iran. We have no idea what's going to happen. And I'm not going to sit here and say that I'm the guy that has all the answers. But I think that if we look at sustainability practices and the citizenry all around the United States, all around the world, are more equipped to live sustainable lives, feed themselves, feed their families, we kind of go into a world where those outside factors don't affect us as much. What are your thoughts on that?
Oh, tremendous. I was the Commissioner of Health and Social Services in Alaska during COVID, and we had the very real threat of the Port of Seattle being shut down, and that's 90% of the food supply for Alaska. And so that has really created an impetus for us to grow our own food and to actually find a way to be more self-sustainable. We are so far away from the rest of the world, and most Alaskans don't even understand how far away we are from Seattle. So we actually need to find these ways to do this when it comes to self-sustainability on food growing, on either mining, manufacturing, taking care of this, and when it comes to this financial sovereignty aspect. Right now, we're dependent upon a lot of servers that are set in New York, where all the banks are headquartered, to trust that actually all of our financial aspects are taken care of. Whereas you can take more of an individual control when it comes to this blockchain and this Bitcoin app.
Absolutely. Running your own nodes and being able to protect yourself in that aspect, verify your own transactions. Something that's interesting, you talk about growing food and sustainability practices. I want to get into this point, so I'll preface it here, just the aspect of Bitcoin mining heat reuse. It's something that I'm super passionate about. Now I'm going to hold on to that thought while we go into the correlation between Bitcoin mining and energy abundance. You take Alaska, the largest state in the union, also has the largest energy reserves when you look at natural energy production. production. You have oil and gas being pulled out of the North Slope. You have tons of geothermal in the Ring of Fire. You have tons of solar opportunities. During the summer, the sun is up 99% of the time. And then also you have tons and tons of hydropower as well. So all of these factors play perfectly into the idea that Bitcoin mining can help raise up a energy sovereign, energy independent community.
Oh, Alaska has all of the energy we need. We actually currently produce more thermal energy per capita than anywhere else in the world, but we export it. How do we find a way to use this for ourselves? When you talk about natural gas on the North Slope, there's 200 trillion cubic feet of technically recoverable. If you look at advancements in drilling technology, what that looks towards, USGS thinks there might be another 590 trillion cubic feet. There is so much available energy that across Alaska in all of these capacities, we have to find a way to start utilizing it locally.
Yeah.
And this is where, what I love about the Bitcoin mining and other aspects is you can take stranded energy assets. You can put this out there and actually generate income that stays in state. You're using this energy in Alaska, you're actually putting that forward, this Bitcoin mining, and you're creating highly technical, highly skilled, lucrative jobs that stay in Alaska.
Mm-hmm. And to my earlier point, this is why I wanted to bring this up first, but to my earlier point of heat reuse and your comment on growing sustainable agriculture in Alaska, Alaska has one of the hardest growing seasons. In the middle of winter, it's dark all year round. In the middle of summer, it's sunny, but it's cold. And growing food is not an easy science to get into. So, I'd like to hear your thoughts on this idea of energy production, Bitcoin mining, but then the aspect of heat reuse. Because when you can take that Bitcoin mining that you're using from a geothermal situation or a hydro dam, you can take the heat generated from those Bitcoin miners and circulate it into a greenhouse that has UV lights. All of a sudden, you can now grow food for the community all year round, almost at zero cost.
Oh, I would love to do that in Alaska, and I actually don't understand why we haven't pursued that more. China has actually proven this model up numerous times. They have thousands of coal plants that they have put up. They're actually using the CO2 and the heat capture off of that, and they're building greenhouses right next to. So most of the leafy vegetables that are consumed in China are grown in these greenhouses that are next to coal plants. So why can't we do that in Alaska when it comes to multiple different energy sources? We have to find a way in order to do this. We can use our climate to our advantage.
Absolutely.
We don't have to pay for the cooling. We can actually capture that heat and use it elsewhere. And it drops the OPEX. I've had conversations directly with AI data centers trying to get them to think about Alaska to change their economic modeling because it's a little bit higher CapEx when it comes to logistics to get set up, but their OPEX goes down. We don't have water issues. We don't have heating and cooling issues up here. It's a little bit cheaper to do business, so let's magnify that. Let's capture it. There's a restaurant in Soldotna that I like to stop at, but they've done a great job. They set up a solar farm next to this restaurant, and they do their own, all of the vegetables grown is through a hydroponic setup. UV light using the heat generated from that, and it's powered by solar, and year-round, they have so much excess from the restaurant, they even sell it in a public market.
Mm-hmm. And it has further implications too, not just for growing agriculture, growing food, but also growing livestock. I mean, livestock is very hard to grow. I mean, you really need like the reindeer, the deer, the elk, the moose. They're already they're already acclimated to this climate, so they grow here very easily. But when you think about like cows, ducks, chickens, like other types of homestead style livestock, those also can be grown in these heated environments, given perfect environments to grow healthy and strong, which allows us to create more food sources for the community in general. Again, the whole point of this is bringing it back to the community level.
Yeah. It doesn't have to be these massive centers all over the place. You can find stranded assets. Southeast is a great example. A lot of hydropower across the board. More hydropower could be built. If you don't capture that energy, that is actually a wasted energy resource. But you could actually put forward hydro projects or use stranded power to do more Bitcoin mining, AI data centers, and actually a lot more food growth and generation.
I completely agree. So looking out into the audience, we have tons of different people who are going to be watching this online from all over the North America, all over the world are going to be picking up on this because Alaska is going to pick up steam. I really do believe that. What is the message that you want to leave with the audience, whether they're state representatives, educators, or just the average citizen looking at Bitcoin Alaska?
We need to actually start actively addressing this now. We need to actively move forward as to what does our tax regime look like in order to make sure that we're capturing this industry right? That's on this new side. How do we put Alaska forefront on this? We want to capture it. Texas right now is 40% of the Bitcoin world. We want to get some of that. This is multi-billions on an annual basis that we could bring to Alaska. We also have to figure out a regulatory sandbox and these policy calls that in order to actually encourage companies to want to come up here to generate not only new jobs, but also this long-term culture and appeal of people that want to stay in Alaska and thrive in Alaska. We have everything available when it comes to the energy abundance, as well as even our climate, to offer to make this industry really grow and thrive in Alaska. So that is my appeal, is we need to start this process now to move forward, to capture this and make this a robust part of our future going forward.
Absolutely. I could not agree more. Adam, I really appreciate your time today. Absolutely. Enjoy the rest of your time
Thank you.
here in Juneau, and we'll see you around. Guys, if you want to follow this content, please follow me on X at TrevorBello, but make sure to check out bitcoinalaska.org and check out Commissioner Adam as well. I'm sure you'll be able to find him in the show notes, and we will see you on the next one.